Good. Hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. Share Microsoft PowerPoint here. Big. Oh, no, wrong thing. All right. Welcome to my Forfeit presentation. I will be presenting on the big board. So I will do it in two parts. I'll first do the first round, so the first 12, and then finish off with the second 12, and that'll be a second video. All right, let's get to it. I'm sorry if there are mistakes. It's 100 slides. It took me, I worked on it all of today. I woke up at like 11 and it's now 9 p.m. So that's how many hours. So totally I've worked on this for like 16 hours at least. So yeah, I'm not going through this all over again. This is a one take, God willing, and that's all. If you guys have any issues with it, so be it. Okay. Uh, so first pick, Cooper Flag. Who could have guessed? Not me. So yep, welcome home. Let's go frag. All right. So need I say more? Look at this Tankathon thing. It's immaculate. He doesn't have a single weakness. Literally all the other first like prospects and everything have had weaknesses throughout the years. He's the first white guy also to have been drafted since 2006, and he literally does everything. Like he doesn't really have a major issue in his game. And yeah, from the Mavs perspective, like the fit doesn't really matter. Any team would take him. Honestly, like the best team in the league would take him. Doesn't matter. Like everyone would take him with open arms. The Mavs will be a defensive force. Like with him, Lively, AD, like that is a scary front court. And then until Kyrie is back, the offense might be shaky because Flag needs help. But they said they'll draft or trade for a point guard, so we'll see what happens. Um, So the only concern is how elite is his jumper and ball handling? Can he be a primary ball handler and kind of creator? But again, here, just so much green. Like everything's great. He just doesn't shoot that many threes, but his efficiency is fine, so it's okay. And the whole situation is best explained by Chris, who says, "Weird how the Mavs owners can avoid paying Luca a supermax, have the means to move the franchise to Vegas, they own a ton of the casinos, and then draft the best prospect on a rookie deal while the Lakers paid chips for Luca, got the face of the big market March franchise, and NBA viewership has increased significantly. Everyone's happy except every other team, basically, essentially. Funny coincidences in life. Who knows? Make of that what you want." Texas is going crazy. They go Wemby and Flag. That conference is gonna be demon time. All right, second about Spurs, Dylan Harper. Welcome to the team. Enjoy him, Chris. So here you can see Dylan Harper. He leads the prospects in self-created points per 100 possessions. He is really good at driving the room, like probably the best by far in the whole draft class. You can see Jeremiah Fears afterwards, and then Queen there, and then it goes on. But he is really good. And in the past, the people who have kind of put these numbers that Harper has are Zion, Bagley, Aiton, Simmons, and Okafor. They're all pretty big players, whereas Harper's a guard. So it's crazy. He is putting crazy numbers. And he's 86 percentile in pick and roll efficiency as well, which will be which will be like 99th percentile when he has Wemby, and Wemby just does everything for him. Anyways, yeah, that's like Flag. He also has room to work on his jumper. Only shot 28.1 on percent on guarded catch and shoot attempts, so he definitely needs to improve on that if he wants more minutes and time in the Spurs, since the Spurs already have Castle and Fox. But again, not too much, not too many problems. Um, Turnovers are not that bad. Everything's decent. Free throw percentage could be a bit better, and yeah, the 3-point percentage could be better. Um, yeah, as I said, they have the crowded backcourt, but he gets to learn from CB3 and Fox. Like that is pretty good. Like if you have those two as your mentors, your ceiling's already set pretty high. Unless you're Castle, he's a bum. I'm sorry, Jury. And Harper needs a stretch five because he is so good at driving. If he has another center who just kind of crowds the paint, it'll be worse. But now that he has Wemby, like the greatest stretch five ever, it's going to be free. It's going to be peanuts for him. And then Wemby needs someone who can take off the load. Um, and next, Sixers, Ace Bailey might get traded. I don't know. We'll see. So here we have a little game. One of these is Tidjon Salon, the notoriously great pick, and one is Ace Bailey. To those who don't know, the one that's Ace Bailey is on the right, the one with the blocks and offensive rebounds and points. This one on the left is Tidjon Salon, but just to show, according to Tankathon, there isn't that many differences, and Salon's pretty ass. But he's a high moments and aura player, 99% in ISO volume shooting, but he is only 35th percentile in efficiency. He shot more long twos and threes, which is not great either. And he only shot 36.4% on long twos. Handles also need work. He turned it over 28.6% of the time as when the defense committed on him, like blitzed, and then 27.3 times in ISO. He has 0.6 assist to turnover ratio, which is historically really bad as well. And yeah, his assist rate percentage is second lowest after Jordan Hawkins in the lottery since 2020. He has a good block rate with 4.1. He is a pretty good help defender because he has good vert and stuff like that. He's not a great primary defender. He is a good with floaters, like 60.9% is a good floater percentage. And he's a decent catch and shoot three guy. He just kind of refuses to do it a lot of the time. But the Rutgers were also ass, so make of that what you want. And he is decent on screen threes as well, 40.7. But I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, the pre whatever he didn't shoot it that many times, so we'll have to see what it actually is like. So again, here you see his unguarded catch and shoot was abysmal. He shot a lot better when guarded, kind of like Curry, but he's not Curry. But still a funny thing. His free throw percentage also pretty ass at 70%. Should be a lot better. Off the dribble, pretty ass too. So off screen you see he only took 11 shots, and unguarded also he took 27. So same as off screen, but anyways. And at the rim, he shot 61, which is all right. Non-rim, 2 pointers, 46. It's not great either. Team fit, wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded. Not the best piece for a win now team. Needs a lot of development patience, but he has a very high upside. His catch and shoot percentages show hope for the Sixers, but Embiid might get a stroke if he stays there. And Edgecombe is not the best fit either. And Edgecombe's a good fit on the Hornets. You'll see. All right. So he's a solid player with crazy athleticism. Um, he's already an elite defender. He's 97th percentile in combined steal and block percentage. He's all right at 3-point shooting. He kind of got better towards the end of the season. He's 36.3 on catch and shooting, 39.1 in conference play, which is pretty good when it mattered, and 47.6 off the screens. I was watching the games, and he's pretty good off ball with moving and kind of finding those places. He has room to improve though with his finishing. He only shot 46%. Bailey shot like 60. He's only 44.5 on the layups and 53.8 at the rim, which is 36th percentile. But he's a very good cutter. He's 75%. So essentially, when he has the ball and goes himself, he's ass. But if he gets the ball, he's pretty good. Open lane, great. And he's a very good offensive rebounder, 7.1%. He has a very good motor. He runs a lot. And he's a decent passer, 1.7 assist turnover rate, 19 assist rate. But he plays too fast. He is easily a bit out of control when you watch him play, and according to Chris, he always picks up his dribble one step earlier or early. And when I watch him play, I get that he always does that as well. And then the team fit, what else can I say except it's orgasmic. Um, Hornets need a defender. He's a defender. Hornets need an off-ball guy. He's an off-ball guy. The Hornets need athleticism. He's athletic. And he seems to also have good kind of energy, which the Hornets need as well. So, yes, please make this happen. All right, next, Jazz, Trey Johnson. So, Trey Johnson, Um, he had good free throw percentage, but he's also a hype moments and aura shooter player. Um, as you saw see on the right here, he's Murray, D'Lo, Monk, Trey Johnson have only ever made these stats, which is, decent. They're all decent players. Like his shooting is pretty consistent with everything. It didn't really change kind of where he shot, which is great. His non-rim two pointers aren't great, and his so that needs kind of improvement. So he lacks an explosive first step, which kind of hurts with the driving and defense. He's bad at driving. 20% of his shots are at the rim. Some games, apparently, he just takes zero shots at the rim. He just settles for middies and threes. And then he's a bad, he, so he has, that's why he has a bad free throw rate of 26.5%. And he has a 44.9% on the 2 point shots. And he's very reliant on jumpers and tough shots. And he's an average defender. Once again, hype moments and aura. When he makes those crazy step back threes, it goes crazy. But he also misses them a good amount of times. So here at the bottom, you can see some players who've had similar stats as him, Ayo Dosunmu, and then these two bombs who I have no clue, Cam Thomas. So he's kind of in that lane as well. He's a bit taller. Team fit. The Jazz needs to take the highest upside player, probably tanking next year, so it's good to give development opportunities to Trey. And the Jazz like a pure cold-blooded scorer who can make tough shots. Drafting Trey would essentially confirm Keontae as sixth man, and it would be great for Collier. Collier would get so many more assists from just Trey Johnson getting catch and shoot threes. And he played in a very weak team, so it's kind of hard to tell kind of what he's going to be like on an actual team. He wasn't kind of moving, and the team wasn't really finding him on easy shots either, and all that stuff. Like when you watch him play, it's bad. Like he had no help. So it would be really interesting to see if how much better he'll actually be than when he has a good teammates. Um, but yeah, Jazz, Keontae, we'll see what happens, but it's not looking too good for him. Trey Johnson might. Jazz don't have kind of a clutch scorer, and Trey Johnson might be that. Then Jeremiah Fears going to the Wizards. So he is one of the youngest players in the draft, and he has very high usage on the Sooners. And he was 88th percentile in PNR frequency and 78th percentile in ISO frequency. So he had the ball a lot. So he had high rim frequency. So he really liked to drive to the rim, but he had low rim efficiency. So this is a big difference between him and Harper. Harper likes to go to the rim, but he's like elite at the rim. Jer Fears, not as much. He was good with the free throw rates and free throw percentage. Um, but his 3 point shot sucks. It's 28%. But apparently he says he's been working on it, so we'll see what happens. As an on-ball shooter, 68.2% of the jump shots were off the dribble, but at 30% efficiency, so not great either. And his assist rate isn't great either at 28.6%. He averaged 3.4 turnovers, which is not ideal, but again, he's really young. And he was on an ass team as well. And he had a high steal rate with 3.1 percent as well. So 1.6 steal, which is actually pretty good. But he wasn't a very good defender at spot ups at 23rd percentile. He'd kind of fall asleep and then they get a free shot and yada yada yada, all that jazz. So yes, so here are some other players he was similar to. He had better true shooting and free throw percentage than all of them, but I don't recognize a single one of these names, and that kind of worries you when you see something like this. Is like, okay, well, what kind of groups is he in? But most of the time, this kind of stuff is irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. But I just thought it'd be fun to have there. All right, team fit. The Wizards are an up-and-coming team filled with youth and potential, which is perfect for Fears. At the Wizards, he would have great opportunities to play and go towards the ceiling. His ceiling is pretty good. And they're a pretty strong 3 point shooting team, which works well for Fears. And stretch five gives Fears also more space to drive. And yeah, I would be interested to see kind of how it'll progress with Bob, Poole, and Fears. I don't know exactly how it would work, but they'll figure it out. I also think Malawak would be a good kind of other option to create a twin towers with them, but I think there are other center prospects they could look at 18. But yeah, Fears solid. Um, He was one of the fastest people at the combine as well, which is impressive. Then Colin Knuppel. All right, white man. So Colin Knuppel, he isn't super athletic, but he is very, very smart. He is in the 91st percentile when a defender commits in a PNR, he makes the right decision basically. And whereas someone like one of the like Ace Bailey, he was really bad when the defenders commit. So he has 1.8 assists to turnovers. He is 81st percentile in defending spot ups, which is also other than the opposite of kind of fears who fell asleep, and 80th percentile in PNR defense, which is good. He just kind of lacks with the vertical quickness, so he can get blown by sometimes, and he's not a great blocker. He finished the season with 69% at the rim, which is pretty good, but he didn't really do any dunks because he's not athletic, and 33% of his shots are at the rim, which is fine as well. And he was 98th percentile in spot up shooting. He shot 48.9%. When he gets that set shots, he is crazy. He is the best shooter, maybe in the whole draft. And yeah, you'll see more stats on this next slide. Here. So it's total 3-point percentage, 40%. Catch and shoot, 43. Guarded, all of them. They all elite. Okay, only one that wasn't that great is off screen and off the dribble and pick and roll something 3-pointers. But like free throws, non-rim twos, all of these, amazing. True shooting, amazing. He's just so nice with it. There's no other way to put it. So as a team fit, I think he is a good fit for the Pelicans. No, he's a good fit for no any team, no matter what. Kind of like Flag. Like he's solid. So like no matter even if they, you know, fuck it rebuild, he'll be good. If they don't, he'll be good. Um, and he can handle the ball, but he doesn't need to handle the ball, which is also a really great trait to have. That it just depends on what your team needs. He can kind of provide, and he may uh struggle to get playing time at the start, but I think he'll be a good CJ replacement down the line, and he'll of course get his chances. And they need good shooters because Missy and Zion, they cannot spread the floor, so the other three have to be good at shooting. All right, then we go. Come on, Mulwalk. He is one of the most efficient scorers kind of in college history. He was 99th percentile as a rim runner. Like he missed only a few dunks. Second in total dunks. 73.6% true shooting. Offensive rebounding is almost the same as defensive rebounding, which talks about how bad his defensive rebounding is. And that's kind of why they lost the final as well, because just Blood couldn't get defensive rebounds, even though he's 7'2". So pissed. He's not a post-up center. He only posted up 5 times during the season. So if you want that from your center, don't pick him. He has a very low assist rate. He doesn't really, hold the ball much. He doesn't have the greatest block rate either, but he's scary. Like when he comes, he kind of impedes the attack, but he doesn't really block them. As a spot up defender, he's in the 8th percentile, which is not great either. But he also kind of falls asleep and can't reach the 3-point shots, which will have to be fixed in the NBA. But at the combine drill, he shot 48% on the star drill and the stationary 3-point drill, which is huge for his long upside. And I'll talk about it in a bit. But yeah, here as well, you see he just has so much good. Like he has negative things as well. But even here, his projected NBA 3-point percentage is 32.5, which is pretty good. And as a team fit, there's a high likelihood that Claxton gets traded and Nets need a center. Even if he doesn't get traded, Claxton struggles with injuries, and Malak's high upside is worth it. And so Duke Malawak and the Basketball Africa League Malawak are two different people. When he played in Africa, he was like a power forward, and he was doing all kinds of crazy spin move, 3-point shots, and middies and all that stuff. So I'm kind of expecting them to kind of give him maybe a bit more freedom and to try and develop all that stuff, especially if the Nets aren't trying to do anything too serious next season. And Jordi Fernandez also said he wants a center who only doesn't pick and roll, which is what he did at Duke. But because of what we saw in Bell, Malawak has the kind of ability to do other stuff, but he just needs to be kind of he needs to practice that because he also hasn't played basketball for that long. And yeah, he's essentially an upgrade to Claxton. Like Claxton technically is a better blocker, but I believe Malawak will become a better blocker. And if Malawak solidifies his three-point shooting, like the team will be so scary and brings much needed defense as well. Then at nine, we got Kasparas Jakučionis. His shooting, he shot overall 32% from three, which isn't great, but it was 41% before the injury. So make of that what you want. He was a really good shooter at the start. At the start of the season, he was like top three on draft boards. It was crazy. And then he kind of fell after the injury. So this guy loves step backs. 39.2% of his threes were step backs. Um, he shot 26 on traditional, 52 on sides. He loves the little side step backs. He's a sexual with those. Not a very good hop step back. He did all right. Like 35.8% in general was fine, and then 44% of his made threes were step backs. He's a very good pick and roll player, and he's in the 96th percentile. And when he drives, he's also a decent driver. Sorry, he finishes at 64.4% at the rim, with a free throw rate of 50%, which is pretty good. But he really needs the pick and roll to kind of turn the corner and get to the basket. Like he doesn't have the burst to do it himself. As I say, he's not explosive. He has poor defensive ratings and has one dunk during the whole season, even though he's pretty tall. And he also likes to turn it over at a rate of 25%, 3.7 turnovers per game. He goes for flashy passes and really struggles when he gets blitzed, like a lot of people in this draft. But yeah, the flashy passes are nice when he hits them, but when he doesn't, it's bad. And he's a decent offensive rebounder. Like he puts effort on the offensive glass as well, which is nice to see. And he has some players with similar stats. Like he is in some good company. Like there are some decent players here. But yeah, we'll have to see what comes out of him. Uh, for the Raptors, like I was kind of trying to think of what to give them. Like, of course, they would want Malawak as a replacement for Polo, but other than that, like I don't exactly know what they want. I know they don't want a forward. They have such good forwards, so I assume they wanted a point guard. I would think maybe Yakuchianis is probably the best point guard at this point, who's left. Fears isn't there anymore, so Quickly's also struggled a lot with injuries. So Yakuchianis would get great minutes when Fears is Quickly is injured, and especially from a defensive standpoint, though, Yakuchianis and Dick kind of scares me. I'm not really moved by that. Um, so that is a bit of a problem. But then at the same time, Yakuchianis pick and roll with Polto and Barnes does really intrigue me. It's more the defensive side, which kind of scares me. But with teams that aren't really trying to contend, you can figure out the defense later. It's not that big of a deal at the moment. If Yakuchianis improves his off-ball movement in addition to catch and shooting, I can see it being really good because sometimes they want Barnes kind of playing as a guard. And in those moments, if you can get Yakuchianis to be a good catch and shooter or something like that, and play a bit of off-ball offense as well, I can see it working really well. Um, but yeah, that's Yakuchianis. Next, okay, hear me out. This was a this this was a very this took a lot of thinking from me, and I might be really wrong here. So bear with me. I might be like completely wrong. So don't take this all with a grain of salt. All right. So at 10, I have Rockets picking Nolan Traore, which is quite a lot higher than what he is in a lot of mock drafts. So he has one of the highest assist rates in the draft. For 36 minutes, he gives 7.5 assists, which is really good. And he has a 1.9 assist to turnover ratio, which is also pretty good. And okay, so his shooting's kind of where things can go wrong. He shot pretty well at the rim and at the layups with 58 and 57. And all right from two as well at 45, but he's not a great three-point shooter. At least during the whole season. He shot 28% from three, and well, 73 from free throws isn't the greatest either. And pull-up twos, 27 as well, pretty shit. 24 from pull-up threes, really bad. 39 from catch and shoot threes though, promising. Hear me out. And then 64.9 from transition twos, promising. And per 36 minutes, he has 7.5 assists. Oh, I mentioned it twice there. Sorry, I was writing this at like 4 a.m. Bear with me. And he's one of the fastest players in the draft. We'll see it in the combine scores when they actually do the combine in Italy, but he should be one of the highest, fastest people in the draft. He's not the greatest defensively, but he has high potential with his physicality, and I talk about that in the team fit. And he's one of the youngest players also in the draft, and he's a very strong pick and roll player. And he also has high turnover rates with his high usage and tries difficult passes, similar to Jaco Giannis. Basically, almost every prospect in this draft has this kind of same turnover, high usage, difficult pass, struggles with blitzing stuff. So he has some very big similarities to Collier, which I'm biased to, of course, because I like Collier. He plays for the Jazz, and I think he's good. He's style-wise, he's similar. He's not a great shooter. He's good at driving, good at passing, and very athletic. And both of them actually were, at the start of the season, they were really high up in the draft classes. They were like top three, top five. And then they kind of fell during the season. So the same thing kind of happened to Nolan Chari. That before the season, he was kind of top three in some boards. So here, you can look at this and again, hear me out. This is the most schizophrenic graph with him, but it shows a lot. Like it is going up. It started really bad, and it's slow. It's going up and it goes down. And but now recently, it's been really up. And if he can kind of maintain this up, he can actually be a really good player. Like if you just shoot, kind of, he doesn't even need to be shooting as good as he's shooting here. But if he could just shoot somewhere like here, he'd be a really, really good player for the Rockets. In the last 2 months, he's shot 46.4 from the field and 48.3 from 3 points. That's crazy stats. That's crazy efficiency. So like if he just can somehow, so I know you don't want to, put all your eggs in the basket on 2 months. I understand that. But I was just struggling on kind of finding on who the Rockets should pick at this pick. So, and this guy really intrigued me. So, about the team fit. Even amidst Dylan's attempts to convince everyone, I'm not convinced that Reed Shepherd is the long-term point guard or even backup point guard. I'm not convinced. I might be wrong. We'll see. So this leaves with the Rockets without a backup point guard, and I consider Demon, but I don't think he fits the style of play. And Giannis is gone, and I don't know if he would have been the right, fit anyways. You go from having Jalen Green who chucks up threes to going to Giannis who chucks up threes. Uh, so hence I chose Nolan Chari, different type of a point guard. He's an ultra athletic playmaking guard with good upside, which I think fits the Rockets. I feel bad for pushing him up this high, as I told you guys. However, yeah, his recent performances have I've been just consistently seeing those stat lines in the last 3 months. I'm like, damn, this guy, this guy's trying. He's getting crazy at the right time. So from a defensive standpoint, what I was gonna now say is because Ime Udoka is a defensive kind of genius and he knows how to make people good at defense. Like he made Sengun a good defender somehow. I would have never seen that coming at the start of the season. So someone like Nolan Traore, who has the perfect physical capabilities to be a good defender, he just struggles sometimes with a bit of IQ or being in the wrong places or overcommitting and stuff like that. He kind of easy fixes if you're a good coach. So that's why I believe that he can become a very, very good defender with that. Not well, not maybe like elite, but a solid defender nevertheless. And they need a pass first, also point guard, because Sengun, Amen, and the other players they kind of like to shoot and they like to hold the ball as well. Uh, Especially if Eamon develops over the summer even more. So Eamon and Char together scares me a bit from a 3-point perspective. And also Sengun, like those three not shooting threes, scary. But the combined athleticism of those two, like the fast break points, wow, we great. I would be scared. If you have a team with just a few unathletic guards, like it's over. Like these guys are just gonna blow past them. It would be pretty scary. So, anyways, that's my take on Nolan Chari. Just if you disagree, I completely understand. I won't disagree with you, but I just wanted to say, kind of think of something outside of the box. All right, then Blazers Noah Sengi. This is the penultimate one before um, we end the first round. So Noah Asengi, he is an elite foul baiter. So let's look at these stat lines in his most recent game. I think it was yesterday. 13 for 13 from the free throw, 4 for 5 from the field goal. This guy loves his fouls. He has an 80% free throw attempt rate, and he shoots 73% from the line. 80% is so crazy. You don't understand. Like Branson shot 30% in college, Luca 50% in Euroball, Trey 40%, and Shea 50%. That those were their like free throw attempt rates. And the thing is 80. It is double what Trey has. It's bonkers. And he's a pretty good defender too. He has 2.1 steals per 36 and zero point 0.8 blocks. He is issue is he isn't a very strong guy. He's pretty lanky and skinny. But the good thing is he is pretty mobile and fast. And he is the second youngest player in the draft. He's I think 3 days older than Flag. And he isn't the greatest three-point shooter. He shoots 29% from three, but he kind of goes in streaks when he shoots pretty well. But he also doesn't take that many attempts per game. 0.27 3-point yeah rate. He doesn't really shoot that much. But yeah, but his form is good and his mechanics are nice as well. So there's hope in that perspective. But yeah, this guy he's a crazy foul baiter. All right. And he's also the best transition player by far in the whole draft. So you look at this on the top right. See how far up he is. He's crazy fast. Whenever like his team, get a fast break, he's just there. He's ready. And that's why he also gets so many fouls. He's very good at drawing these fouls in transition. He's not scared of doing it. And it's really impressive actually. So here we have another little test. One of these is Noah Sengi. The other one is first round pick, Zachary Rizasher. I think based off the free throw rates, you can think you will know that the right one is Noah Sengi. So imagine it's the person on the left, first pick, person on the right, 11th pick. That tells you how good this draft is. But I think Noah Sengi will go up after the combine. But anyways. Furthermore, here again, from the points kind of perspective, only thing that Rizzo was better in was fouls. He had less fouls. And then after that, the only thing he was better in again was he shot better from three. Everything else was shit. Like even and his projected NBA percentage and 3-point, everything related to 3-point shooting, he was better. But he's not even that good of a 3-point shooter in the league. And everything else, Noah Sengi was better. Just some word for thought. So team fit again. I don't really like the Blazers. I don't really know much about the Blazers, but I think Sengi is just a really good player that if he's there, you can't really pass on him. And they like to pick physically gifted and imposing players. Sharp's super athletic, Scoot super athletic, and Klingon, he's not athletic, but he's big. And they really value defensive ability. We could see that during the season when they made that run, it was when they were like being one of the best defensive teams in the league. And I think he kind of ticks all these boxes. He's physical, he's athletic, he can do all these things. He would kind of have to fight for minutes with Kamara and Avdia, but the bench depth in the forward position is pretty weak. And yeah, then you can put I don't know what they're gonna do with that part, but that maybe they'll put Kamara at shooting guard or I don't know. But anyways, Blazers were 12th in the league in free throws attempted, indicating Asengi would fit well. It was pretty high up, and it would help the move probably to the top 10. It's very possible that Noah he climbs because he still just keeps playing and is just doing really well. And in the combine, he'll probably just I'm gonna predict he's gonna keep doing even better. And his skill set just would fit a lot of teams. Like he is a pretty intriguing prospect in that sense. All right, last one, Colin Murray Boyles. So he played on a horrendous team, like one of the worst teams in his conference. So with all these stats, take that into mind. He shot 2.3 attempts per 100 possessions, and he shot 26.5%. Pretty shit. He shot 70.7 from the free throw, pretty good. 73 at the off dribble middies at the combine, which was actually pretty nice. And then 48 in the middle side combine. But then in the spot up 3-point shooting, he was really bad. So, shooting has some work to do. He's a pretty good finisher with 70% of the rim, and has a one assist to turnover ratio, which is, it's not great. But he's a pretty good passer and read of the game. But again, these maybe he could have had a lot more assists if his teammates actually were human beings. His handles kind of need work. He can lose his handles often. He's one of the better defenders in the league, no, in the draft, with 1.3 blocks and 1.5 steals. It's just overall, he's 6, was it 7 or something, so he's not a very big defender, but so he can kind of defend every position. And he's a high IQ player, not the most athletic, but he defends very well with positioning. And he's a good ISO player, surprisingly. He's 69.6% true shooting in ISO possessions, and he's in the 88th percentile. He didn't do ISO that many times, but when he did, he was actually really effective. I was surprised too when I saw that stat. So again, he according to Tankathon, a lot of green. We always like to see a lot of green. When we see a lot of red, we get worried. All right. So the reason I was kind of looking at who the Bulls need and whether I was contemplating a center, but then they really need a forward. Like, look at this. Here you have Kobe White playing small forward. Kobe White. I remember games last season when they had four guards playing on at the same time. That is crazy. So now they have Matas Buzelis, who's of course he's decent. He's kind of proven himself to be an all right piece. So I like the potential front court of Buzelis, CMB, and Vooch. Like I think that's pretty good. Bulls were 19th in defensive rating, so that's pretty bad. I'm not surprised when you look at this team. CMB really would help with that. They need that kind of defensive anchor and boost. And the three complement each other offensively and defensively, at least in my opinion. CMB would excel in a stretch five as he's not a greatest shooter, so especially with the ISO plays, if he had center in the middle, it would hurt him. Bozelis is not a good ball handler, but a decent cutter and shooter, so CMB could use his passing ability with that as well. And he brings the athleticism CMB lacks as well. Defensively, CMB can guard at basically every position. Wooch isn't a great defender, and Buzelis is a decent help defender, but CMB could kind of help them out with all of those. And then CMB can get some opportunities to show and develop his playmaking and ball handling skills. Bulls aren't doing anything for multiple years, so CMB has all the time he needs to become a very good player. This is end of part one. We'll do the second round of the draft then in the next video. All right.